Good morning students, welcome back to Gopi Krishna online classes. I am going to continue the topic of nutrition in plant. Okay, there we discussed what is mean by nutrition and coming to that autotrophic mode of nutrition. In that photosynthesis. What is mean by photosynthesis? Plants are preparing their own food materials by using different components is called as photosynthesis. What are the essential conditions for photosynthesis? So what we require? Plants means we miss here plant. What plants are required for photosynthesis? What are the first essential component? That is sunlight. Yes or no? In previous class we discussed about this. Okay, so sunlight, very important essential component of photosynthesis. In the absence of sunlight, there may not be a chance of photosynthesis. The next one, chlorophyll. Chlorophyll. So this chlorophyll pigment also very important for a plant to photosynthesis process. Okay, so in the absence of chlorophyll, there may not be a chance of photosynthesis. So this chlorophyll is present in a plant structure. Okay, cell, plant cell. So what are the structures we call as chloroplast? So in chloroplast, this chlorophyll pigment is present. This is very essential component for a plants to happen this photosynthesis process. Means nothing but autotrophic mode of nutrition. So the next one, coming to that, carbon dioxide. Okay, so along with this carbon dioxide, water and minerals also required for a plant to complete this photosynthesis process to prepare its own food materials. Coming to this carbon dioxide. Okay, carbon dioxide also one of the essential component for the photosynthesis. In the atmosphere, carbon dioxide is present. So this carbon dioxide means nothing but we call it exchange of gases. Okay, plants also will do that exchange of gases. They will absorb that carbon dioxide and they will release oxygen into the atmosphere. So what are the structures helpful for the plant to complete this exchange of gases? Means carbon dioxide, taking of carbon dioxide and releasing of oxygen is nothing but this stomata. Okay, so stomata is that structure which is present in plant. Helpful, this structure is helpful for a plant to take this carbon dioxide for the photosynthesis process. So in this, when you observe this here, these two God cells. Okay, this stomata is surrounded by two God cells. These God cells plays a major role for the opening and closing of the stomata. When stomata is closed, the structure will be like this. When stomata is open, so the structure. So when mostly water is released, so when water is released out from the stomata, so the structure of the stomata will be like this with the help of the God cells. So when water is getting to absorb, okay, so stomata will open like this with the help of this God cells. So this stomata will plays a major role for a plant to exchange these gases, taking of carbon dioxide and releasing out oxygen. Okay, so for this experiment also is there. So what you have to take one green plant. Okay, keep that plant in dark, means without sunlight. You should keep that plant for a few days. Means why? If sunlight is there, there may not be a chance of photosynthesis. Okay, so we have to observe what carbon dioxide is essential for photosynthesis or not. Okay, after that you have to take one small beaker. Okay, so in this beaker you have to take some amount of lime. So this lime will absorb the carbon dioxide. Okay, so in this beaker you need to arrange one leaf of a plant. One leaf of a plant. Here what will happen? Whatever the carbon dioxide is present here will absorb by this lime, so that now this leaf completely without carbon dioxide. After few hours, when you test with the iodine solution, so this iodine solution, when you test with the iodine solution, when you test this leaf, it does not turns into blue black color. So when starch is present, in the time only iodine will turns into blue black color. Here starch is absent, means photosynthesis process not happen. When photosynthesis not happen, there is no formation of the starch or glucose. Okay, so photosynthesis products what? Glucose plus water along with the oxygen also releasing out. Okay, so from this what we can understand, carbon dioxide is very essential component for the photosynthesis process. Okay, coming to that, water and minerals. So without water and minerals also plant cannot prepare its own food materials, yes or no? So this water, small vessels, xylem, phloem, like structures are present in plants, xylem and phloem. This xylem and phloem helpful for the plant to transport that water and minerals from the roots to the different parts of the plant, and from there to food that materials. Roots also require that food materials, so that food materials will take from this different from the leaves to the different parts of the plant. Like that transportation also happening in plants through that vessels are called as xylem and phloem. This water and minerals also will transported throughout the plant. So these are the essential conditions which are required for the photosynthesis process. Okay, so here you have to learn about what is mean by autotrophic mode of nutrition. First of all, you have to learn what is mean by nutrition. After that, why nutrition is required for a plant, why nutrition is required. After that, different types of nutritions in that autotrophic mode of nutrition. Autotrophic mode of nutrition, photosynthesis is very important in this equation. What is the equation for photosynthesis? CO2 plus H2O, carbon dioxide plus water gives rise to glucose plus oxygen. It releases some amount of water also into the atmosphere in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll pigment. So this is important, sunlight and chlorophyll pigment. Okay, so photosynthesis process, if a plant want to prepare its own food material by the process of photosynthesis, what are the required materials? Means sunlight, chlorophyll, carbon dioxide, water and minerals. These are the essential components which are required for a plant to complete that photosynthesis to prepare its own food materials. Okay, so next, synthesis of plants, plant food other than carbohydrates. Means here we can get only carbohydrates, means glucose only from the plant? No. Okay, so we are getting some proteins also from the plants, yes or no? So different types of nutrients we required for our body growth and development, like carbohydrates we want, proteins we want, fat, minerals, vitamins, like this different types of nutrients are required for our body growth and development, yes or no? Why? Because carbohydrates are giving energy for us and proteins are body building food. Okay, like fats also giving energy to our body, minerals, vitamins, these all also plays a different role in our body to develop and growth, yes or no? Here what happened, only carbohydrates are enough for us from the plants, means plants will prepare only carbohydrates? No, along with that proteins also, if you take some pulses, okay, like red gram, green gram, okay, like that if you take pulses, peas, like that, beans, okay, we are having most proteins are present in pulses, peanuts. Okay, here what happened? Along here carbohydrates, what are the essential components we discussed? One is carbon dioxide, sunlight, chlorophyll, water and minerals. But what about for the protein? For the synthesis of proteins, the nitrogen also very important component here. Okay, from where to plants will get this nitrogen? Nitrogen anyway we said we know that. So in atmosphere nitrogen is present. From that nitrogen, plants can take that nitrogen directly from the atmosphere? No, plants cannot absorb this nitrogen directly from the atmosphere. So that here what happened? In dissolved condition, certain bacteria is present in root nodules. Nitrogen fixing bacteria we call as nitrogen fixing bacteria like rhizobium. Okay, so what is the use of this bacteria? Means this bacteria will convert this atmospheric nitrogen into soluble form of nitrogen. That nitrogen will be absorbed through the roots of the plant, so it can be easily transported from roots to the different parts of the plant. So their protein synthesis also will happen in the case of photosynthesis. Okay, so means here you have to understand only glucose means only carbohydrates are not getting to prepare. Okay, so along with the different materials like proteins, fats, okay, so these are also in some quantity of these also present in food items which we are getting from the plants. Okay, so here synthesis of food other than carbohydrates, this nitrogen present, anyway nitrogen is present in the atmosphere, but that directly plants cannot absorb this nitrogen from the atmosphere. So here this bacteria plays a major role. What we call that bacteria? Nitrogen fixing bacteria. What is the role of bacteria? This bacteria will convert the atmospheric nitrogen into soluble form of nitrogen. So this nitrogen will absorb by the roots of the plant so that it can be transported throughout the plant. That nitrogen will be helpful to synthesis proteins. The major component of proteins is nitrogen. Mostly nitrogen is present in protein. These proteins are helpful for our body growth and development. Okay, carbohydrates are energy giving food, fat also energy giving food. Okay, so like that different these nutrients also playing different roles for the growth and development of our body. So this nutrition in plant, we need to learn about these different types of nutrients, Okay, so in photosynthesis process, what is mean by photosynthesis? What are the essential requirements of photosynthesis? Okay, so after that other than means here only carbohydrates not preparing from the photosynthesis, along with that some plants like pulses, okay, they are preparing proteins also. Okay, so we can say that proteins, what is the major element present in the proteins means nitrogen. What are the major elements present in carbohydrates means carbon, hydrogen and oxygen also. In fats also mostly along with this carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen also present in that. So they are helpful for our body growth and development. This is about autotrophic mode of nutrition. Okay, so nutrition, definition of nutrition. After the types of nutrition we have to learn. Okay, autotrophic mode of nutrition. In autotrophic mode of nutrition you have to learn all these concepts. Okay, in the next class I will go with that heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Okay, thank you.